Hey everyone, it's Jonathan from Motor Psychology. Welcome to the channel. And for the new viewers, welcome. And for the returning viewers, welcome back. And thanks again for your continual support. So today's video is a little bit different. It's kind of a real life situation. I'm going to be doing some investigative work on my 2009 Ford Ranger that's got a 4.0 liter V6 engine. I bought this pickup truck brand new back in the day. It's a 5-speed manual transmission, and that's where my issues lie today. So it's got a M50D R1. This is a Mazda manual transmission. It's worked perfectly since I've had the vehicle, but over the past month or so, it's been getting very difficult to shift into gear. So I was kind of leery about what was going on, and then over the past couple days it's almost impossible to shift into any gears. It works kind of okay when you finally get it going and you're under speed. It's not too difficult to put into second, third, fourth, fifth, and back. But when you slow down, very difficult to get into first gear. When you're stopped, almost impossible to get into first gear, and almost impossible to get into reverse as well. So I'm going to go into the cab and I'll show you what the issue is as far as a operator point of view. Then we're going to start digging around and trying to figure out what's going on with this transmission. It may be totally problematic and will need to be rebuilt or replaced, or it could be something that can be repaired at home as well. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that, but I'm going to go through some of the things that I'm going to check. Unfortunately, where I am right now, it is super cold outside, so not the easiest environment to do these outdoor repairs. But I'm going to take you guys out and show you what my issue is. Then I'm going to top up the clutch fluid reservoir, open that up, and then top that up with clutch fluid, which is essentially brake fluid .3s. Hopefully, if it needs some clutch fluid, it's going to give a little bit of firmness to the clutch pedal, a little bit of resistance, kind of like how it used to be, and hopefully that will help the clutch work so that the gears can get engaged in that transmission. Other than that, at a later time, I'm going to empty the existing transmission fluid and put in some new transmission fluid and just keep on troubleshooting this thing to see if I can actually fix it with my own resources or consider something else. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there with this model of Ford Ranger, definitely a lot of vehicles with that M50D R1, which is typically used on the lighter duty trucks. If it's an R2 variant, it's the same transmission that they're using on larger duty trucks like the Ford 150. So stick around, let's dive into this video and see what is wrong with this Ford Ranger. So this is the vehicle in question. It's sitting out here in my driveway. This is the truck that I've had since it was brand new, and it's parked behind a couple Civic CRXs, which are pretty awesome as well. Anyway, let's have a look at this. I'm going to go inside and show you guys what the issue is from an operator point of view. So we're inside the Ford Ranger right now, and there's the transmission shifter or the stick shift, and down below here you've got the brake and the clutch pedal here right there. So I'm going to set the camera up and I'll show you what my operator issue is. I guess that's a good way to describe it. Ultimately, this is going to mean eventually removing this thing, I think. So let's check it out. All right, so here's the stick shift here. You can normally put it in and out of gear, no problem. So this is a good view here to see the stick shift. I've got the clutch in. It normally goes to first, second, third, down to fourth, up to fifth, and then hopefully into reverse. So reverse is definitely an issue. Most of the other ones are as well. So that's reverse. So I'm going to turn it on and see how this works. So let's see if we can put this thing into reverse. So right now I can't get it into any gear, so it jams going in there, jams going into the second gear, will not go in, whoops, third, fourth. I was able to get fourth for a second, and then reverse, very difficult to get into reverse, can't get that in. Take my foot off the clutch again, put it back in. Okay, I was able to get it in first there. Very difficult. Second gear. I think that's second. Third, okay. Fourth. I reverse that. Cannot get that in. Take my foot off the clutch, maybe that'll help. I think that's in reverse. Let's see. Yeah. So now, can I get it back in first to move it up on the driveway a bit? Should be pretty smooth normally. There. Let's try and get it into reverse again. Cannot get it in. You can hear it kind of banging every time I put it back. Big thud. So let's see if I can, how long it takes me to get it in there. So that's kind of where I am right now. It's been progressively getting worse over the past 3 weeks. So I noticed maybe 3 weeks ago it wasn't as smooth as normal. I came home and talked to my daughter and asked her if she had noticed any difference, and she said, yeah, I think it's a little bit stiffer, but it was still totally drivable and not a really big deal. But progressively over the past couple of weeks, it's been getting harder and harder and more unreliable to get into the gears. And certainly over the past 3 days, it's dramatically declined. So I'm having a lot of trouble getting into first gear initially, and into reverse, and all the gears in between when I'm driving. So it's really awkward. So anyway, I'm going to try and get it into reverse and first gear, and then get it in and out of the driveway. Then I'm going to go under the hood and check the clutch fluid reservoir. All right, let's see if I have any luck. So right now it's currently in neutral, and I'm going to try and get it into reverse. There, I finally got it, but it wasn't easy. So I'm going to reverse a little bit. And then put it into first and try and get back up the driveway. All right, so not too bad on that one. Let's try it again into reverse. You can hear and feel. I think that's in fourth. Yeah. Reverse. It's not totally impossible to drive this vehicle, it's just extremely difficult. So I'm going to pop the hood and have a look. So this is the engine bay of the 4.0 liter V6 for this Ford Ranger, and then over in this side there's the master cylinder there, and then just to our right is the reservoir where you can put the clutch fluid. So I'm going to open that and see what condition that's in. All right, so this thing should turn left to loosen it. Fortunately, this one's coming off okay. So here's a reservoir open. It's not completely full, but at the same time you can see the fluid at the top, so it's not empty. So I'm just going to check what type of fluid. It usually takes like a brake fluid, a .3 or something like that. So we're going to check that out on the lid. I'm going to take it inside so I can actually read this thing, and then hopefully come back out and refill that. So we're back inside briefly, and I can now read this thing properly. And it basically says fill to step with .3 brake fluid. So that's just like filling it up an inch or so from where it's currently sitting. This is the brake fluid that I'm going to use, .3, and we'll use that to fill that thing up. All right, we're back and we're going to have a look at this thing. I did notice that there is this rubber thing that is quite extended. So underneath that is where I'm going to pour the brake fluid, and yeah, it's a lot drier than what I would like it to be. I should be able to pour it with no funnel, hopefully. So it's right at the top of the step right now. I'm just going to go in and pump the clutch pedal, and hopefully that will maybe get some of this fluid into the system if it's not already in there, and then we can take it from there. All right, that didn't really do any difference, so that's positive. Time to put this thing back in. There's going to be some overflow here. Try and sponge some out here. All right. Stick the lid on. There we go. So that's topped up, keeping our fingers crossed that this may help. So I'm back in my truck now after filling up that clutch cylinder. It took, like I said, about an inch of that oil. I highly doubt it's going to make a difference, but you got to go through all the troubleshooting and process of elimination before you figure it out. So I'm going to start this and then play around and see if that works. So let's see. All right, let's give it a shot. Get some heat on in here. All right, so that's weird. That's working perfectly now. Just gonna go take it out for a drive and see how it goes. Snowy day today. All right, so reverse, easy to get into. First gear should be smooth, and it is. And let's try second. Clutch in, easy shift to second. My next concern will be whether or not I have a leak, and we'll find out about that. So I'm just going to slide it into third gear. Easy. This is what my driving conditions are for today. It's going to be snowing more than what it is right now, so imagine living in a place with this much snow. All right, let's see how it goes here. It's pretty good. Go for second. Nice and smooth. Now back to first. That worked nicely. Second gear. Very good. Third. That's a nice shift. And fourth gear. So the other day, extremely difficult to get done. So this is kind of nice. And we're coming to a stop light. So I'm going to shift down here. Third gear. Good. Second. Nice. And then let me put it into first. It was pretty good. Now into third. Nice. And into fourth. There we go. Coming up to another stoplight. I'm going to gear down again. Easy into third. I don't think I'll have to go down into second gear. So I'm in third. Traffic slowing down here, so I may have to shift down or downshift. Yeah. Into second. A little stiff. Not outside of the expectation. So into third gear. Nice. And hopefully fourth gear. Very good. Well, that's kind of where I am right now. It's a drastic improvement over the past few days. I do know that there's some fluid. It's topped up. Anyway, that's part one. We'll see what else needs to be done on this thing. So the next thing that I need to do is to change, I think, the transmission fluid. Even though it's a manual transmission, Mazda M05D R1, you do need to put in transmission fluid, and I think it's a Mercon 5 or something like that. Anyway, let's go on to the next process. We certainly got a lot of snow here since I did the initial filming of that not too long ago, so everyone's digging out, which is crazy. So yeah, tons of snow here. I've got my truck and my other car up there, but as you can see, there's a lot of snow here. Nice sunny day today. Just an update on the Ford Ranger. It's been working fine since I topped up the fluid. I did get a shifter repair kit, which I'll show you just before I put this exit of the video in there. This is what I was talking about here as far as a shifter repair kit. It's kind of like a superficial thing that goes where the stick shift connects onto the transmission, so you can access it through the cab of the truck, and all it really is putting some new bushings in place. So let's just quickly open this up. So this would be the part where the stick shift goes down. This would mount. It's got a couple gaskets. Most importantly are a few of these things, which the other ones could have broken down a little bit. So these will replace the bushings and hopefully allow it to move a little bit smoother. Right now I don't really have that issue, but when the weather is good, I'm going to put this in and I'll make a quick video short of that. So this is the repair kit. So the next thing on my agenda with it will be to put this kit in and then to change out the transmission fluid, and hopefully that will work. I think eventually I'm going to have to put a new clutch in there anyway, and if so, I'm going to drop the transmission and do a clutch replacement, which will be pretty interesting for those of you who have not done that. So who knows where we're going to go. Anyway, that is the repair kit, and this is the number for that. So that's a relatively simple fix for your manual transmission on these types of Mazda trucks or Ford Rangers. It's doable. I will be replacing the transmission fluid on it as soon as it gets warm enough that I can do that type of work. So, you know, one step at a time. And anyway, I'll get into replacing the shifter thing as well. So thanks so much for being here, and we'll catch you all right back here at Motor Psychology next time.